Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. So my daughter Izzy.
It's okay, Molly. It's okay. It's okay.
Izzy died 3 years ago. She fought cancer for 10 years. And I think one of the things most people don't understand about childhood cancer is how much of the treatment is inpatient. So for Izzy, we spent weeks and months at a time in the hospital. There were a few years where my phone actually thought Cincinnati Children's was my home address and my home was my work address because we were there so much.
Yeah.
And so for us, I really feel like the therapy dog program, one dog in particular, Chevy, gave us a few additional years with Izzy. In 2018, she had a major relapse, and there was disease all throughout her bone, everywhere. And she was done. She did not want to continue treatment because she'd been sick her whole life, and she was tired of being in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so we worked with the psychologist. We worked with Child Life. We didn't know what to do, and then she met Chevy. And she agreed to continue going to the hospital because of Chevy, you know.
Yeah.
And so he was just a huge blessing to our family. He made all the difference in the world. He made the hospital feel more like home.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like Chevy also was a comfort to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a nice distraction. Having an animal in the room.
Yeah, and somebody to like pet and love on.
Absolutely.
Do you have any pets at home yourself?
Yeah, so we have a lot of animals, and I think that is part of why having an animal in the hospital meant so much to Izzy, because she missed her animals. We had cats and dogs at home, and she loved them. And so anytime she committed to stay in the hospital, meant she was away from her pets. And so Chevy being able to come and get in bed and snuggle with her meant all the difference in the world.
We hear these stories, Molly, about the things some of these dogs are trained to do, whether it be lay over their lap and or just some of the kids can hold the dog's head, and the dog is very well trained to sit still. Are there things that Chevy did and some of the other comfort dogs did that they provided that most people aren't aware of?
Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, he was just so delicate with her. You know, he weighed twice as much as she did, but he was able to get in bed with her and to not put weight on her legs, which is where most of the disease was. He was able to snuggle with her and just provide that comfort. There were times when she was, more where she could throw the ball and he would run and get it. But a lot of the times he was just in bed next to her and she would just pet him, and he was just so good at that. And he would stay there he's honestly just like the laziest dog like ever. He would just lay there.
He's like a life-size stuffed animal.
Absolutely.
Or a real life stuffed animal, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
That's sweet. So, okay. So, the whole reason that we had you in today, Molly, because you're very brave for talking about this. But I think it's important because there are a lot of kids that are staying now currently at Cincinnati Children's, maybe going through something similar to Izzy. Yeah. And so we want to raise money so that this program can continue. And so what would you say to somebody who's like, right now they're listening and they're thinking about donating, but they're like, I don't know. Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think you can't even begin to understand the difference a program like this makes.
Yeah.
And I think we live at a time where we're not going to cure cancer anytime soon. So I think it's a better use of your money to give it to Chevy, so that Chevy can be there. I just think it goes a long way. I think some people, they think about the hospital, like a hospital stay for some kids disrupts their regular life. Yeah. But for some kids, like Izzy, staying in the hospital is her regular life.
Yeah.
And so if you could bring a dog in there, it makes it so much better.
It was actually something she looked forward to.
Yeah.
And how
Probably
often,
the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how often would she get to see Chevy?
She would usually see him. Well, she was always promised at least once a stay. So if she was there, usually if Chevy was there Wednesday or Monday through 5 days, whatever.
Yeah.
She might see Chevy 2 or 3 times while she was there. But the program is just really good about doing other things too. So Chevy left her notes like every day, right? So she would come when she would arrive at the hospital. There's still in her room a banner that says Chevy, welcome to your, or Izzy, welcome to your room from Chevy. And there's like a picture of him on it. And it's still in her room now because when she would arrive for hospital stays, it was prepped from Chevy,
Wow.
Oh, like he got it all ready for her. That's
to
sweet.
welcome her. And then, so maybe like she would be sick or sleeping all day, but there would be a card that came under the door from Chevy. 1 year, he was her Valentine. And so he surprised her. She had a secret admirer every day that would send gifts to the room and like cards to the room. And then on Valentine's Day, she found out it was him, And so
he was the secret
he was
all along.
admirer. Yeah.
So I think
sweet.
what I take away from this is that level of attention to detail is not on accident. That takes effort from this program and those workers and those people that are there that think of these ideas and are making sure that these things happen for these patients. And as a parent, that had to have been so, I guess the word I would use is impressive to you. And just the fact that they would go that far to make your kid feel that special, that alone I could see could sell somebody on this program of why it is important. And it's not something that they're just, doing here and there. No, when they do it right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think definitely as a parent to say, my child has been fighting cancer for so long. She doesn't want to do this anymore. To have a team of people surround you and say, so we're going to try to change that, right?
Yeah.
We're going to make this place a little better for her, was a lot. It meant a lot and it went a long way. Just to see the effort that they put into making hospital stays more tolerable,
Yeah, like he gave her like a purpose while she was
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time we were at the hospital, Chevy was the highlight always.
Wow.
So.
Did it make you feel good to know that Chevy was able to do this? And I don't know if with Chevy's situation, but that he was able to continue doing this for other patients.
Absolutely. So Izzy, 2 weeks ago would have been her 16th birthday. And so I did a little fundraiser on social media for Chevy, and raised a couple $1,000 because I think his work matters and no child should have to spend as much time in the hospital as Izzy did, And so to know that there are things happening like this program for those kids, again, I think it makes all the difference in the world. And I think that these efforts go so much further than some of the other things,
Do you think it was almost like a friendship? Because I can imagine it was hard for Izzy to make friends. Because she was at the hospital a lot. In terms of that.
Yeah. Izzy just loved pets. She loved animals.
Yeah.
It was a friendship. They were cute together, but he was a pet he was her pet, when she was there. For sure.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Molly, I'm going to interrupt real quick. Joe, is there anything that we could get for you that we haven't gotten? I think we've done a pretty good job. We had maybe we should come back around to this. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Okay. So Molly, I know that we've addressed this already. We appreciate you coming in today. You've done a wonderful job. You've sold. I'm more sold on this program now than I was before. I'll be honest with you.
I think I am too.
What a spokesperson you are.
Yeah.
This is so great. It's just one final thought. If you could just send people on their way for the day with your story, just one final sentence of why people should donate.
I think as a culture, we get so wrapped up in these big things that we can give to, right? Like we're going to
Yeah.
give to cancer research. And I don't think it has near the impact that we want it to. And something like this has a just unfathomable impact on lives. You know, these are actual children sitting in hospitals wanting to stay alive. And you could help like make their day a little better, you know, make them not hate being there. I think that goes so much further than giving to some of these other more robust things. We think like, oh, why would you want to give to facility dogs? Are you kidding me? Like they made the place better. You know, they made Izzy, I literally believe that they gave us a few more years with her. And I think people can do that. You could do that for another child right now, you know? So
That speaks volumes.
Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank
coming in
you,
and talking
Molly.
with us and sharing the memory of Izzy and using her memory to explain why Canine Comfort, this program, is so important. Your dollars are valuable.
Yes.
Valuable to continue this valuable service. So, Molly, thank you for coming in.